And we are live on this Hangout on Air. I'm going to start recording so that we can announce to you this is. Wait, let's start over. Well, it's that time of the week again. It's time for Chit Chat Across the Pond, episode number 523 for February 17th, 2018. And I'm your host, Allison Sheridan. This week, our guest is Programming by Stealth's own creator, Bart Busschots, and this is episode 50 of Programming by Stealth. How cool is that, Bart?
I am amazed that we've gotten here. And also, that means we've been at this for at least 2 years.
I can't believe you haven't given up on me yet. That's what I think every time I look at this.
Oh, it's fun, and it's quite regularly that something happens where you talk about scratching your own itch, and I'm like, yes. That is exactly the point of Programming by Stealth, giving you the power to make that little computer do your bidding, be your slave.
I love it. Well, we are doing something very different, and I'm not sure how the audio is going to work out because Bart came up with an interesting suggestion. We are doing this on a video Hangout on Air, which will be up on YouTube, and I'll be able to embed it on the website. So you can watch Bart create a little web app from scratch. So we're going to just follow along. There's going to be no heavy lifting by Allison. I'm not going to, I hopefully will probably learn a lot of things, but I'm not going to have any homework due, right? No new homework.
Right. Well, that was okay. So that was the condition. I was not allowed to set you any homework. And,
so we can just have fun.
Right. So basically, the idea is we're going to start with the scariest thing on the planet, which is an empty page.
Yeah, we don't often do that. You usually have built kind of a framework for us to play in, and then we get to dive in and mess around in the middle, but we don't start from zero very often.
Yeah. So we're starting from zero. And it's not just that you're starting from zero. I'm also starting from zero. I don't know how this is going to go. I just have a vague idea of what I want to accomplish. And I've intentionally not done prep. Because otherwise it's not real.
Oh, this is going to be really organic and genuine then.
Right. Which is, I think, important because if the vision is that someone who knows how to program just sits down and types out perfect code, I imagine we're going to dispel that myth.
All right, cool. It's going to be full of typos. Are we going to try to explain things to the audio only audience, or are we going to tell people you really shouldn't be listening to this? You should go over to the video. What do you think?
We can have a go, but I have a feeling this may be not so audio friendly. It would be interesting to see how it goes. There's going to be a lot of silences, I imagine. Yeah.
Oh, no. I can't let there be silence. I must talk at all times. Even if I'm reading out loud what you're spelling.
Oh, that'll be interesting. Yeah. I can't type when people are watching and we're broadcasting live on the internet. What could possibly go wrong?
Well, I haven't told anybody they can come watch, but
I bet you Google has.
I might do that. I might go ahead and tweet this out and just see what happens, see if anybody sneaks in to see what we're doing.
That's interesting, yeah. All right, so I am going to share my screen. So this is the last you're going to see of my rather poorly lit face.
And I'm going to stop sharing my face just so that we're on an even playing field here. And we're going to look at Bart's screen. And I guess we can wave visually goodbye for now.
Bye.
All right, how do I turn my camera off? Here we go.
Yeah, so if I click this and then I do that, it should start sharing my screen, right?
Wrong? Oh, and I'm still on screen. Oh, there we go. Oh, now I have to click on
I'm going to minimize you away. There we go.
There we go.
Okay, so here it is, the proverbial empty screen. And it is truly empty. We're in a folder called PBS 50, which has no files in it, and that is an empty screen.
And you're looking at the application Code Runner, correct?
Yeah, I've decided. I think we've recommended Code Runner a few times, so I figured let's use that editor. I use different editors all the time. I have too many editors.
It is funny how you keep using different editors. I do too. There's just some day I'm just in the mood. I'm in an Atom mood, then I'm in a Code Runner mood.
Yeah, I think it's because I don't want to. Komodo is my actual favorite editor, but if I mess with the settings to make it look good on a screen share, then my favorite editor has its settings messed with. Whereas if I mess with the Code Runner settings, I don't care so much. So this is our empty screen. So what I want to achieve today is I want to combine the two things you asked me to revise recently, which is JavaScript objects and jQuery. So we're going to build a very simple web app, which is going to have 3 components. There's going to be a text box, into which the user of the app is going to type some JavaScript code to describe an object. There's going to be a div, which is going to draw a picture of that object. And there's going to be a button that says go. And that's kind of all I've decided. So a place to type some code, a button, and then that button will turn the code into some sort of representation of the object. And that means we got to use jQuery because that's how we're going to build up the representation of the object. So in theory, we got to understand objects and we got to understand jQuery. Otherwise, this whole thing will fall flat and it's whatever. So that's my theory. So step one is always build some HTML. So I've set CodeRunner here to the HTML language, and I'm going to use a good old-fashioned text expander. I think my shortcut is HTML5.
Oh, you've got a text expander snippet. See, I turned off text expander snippets in...
they're not working in this app.
I have... Well, I was just starting to say, I have them turned off because they tend to do things like change the first line of a character of a...
Yeah, so what's not visible in my menu bar?
Text expander.
Text expander.
Okay, so but how do you get around the fact that it's going to want to like make the first letter a capital letter and things like that?
I don't have text expander snippets for that kind of stuff.
I thought it did it. Oh, maybe it was just Mac OS that does it.
Well, that's the snippet I want, so I guess can I just double click that and it'll happen? Or there we go. Okay. So we sort of got there in the end.
Oh, okay. So what he just did was splat it onto the screen. Doc type HTML, HTML head / heads body / body HTML. That's a nice snippet.
Yeah. So I'm going to call this an object visualizer. Oh, now I got a question of a Z or an S. Yeah,
no, go with your S's. No. Go with your S's. I like it. So he's just put that into the title field.
So page got to have a heading. So h1/h1. I can't type. So the fact that I have a mic obscuring half my keyboard is my excuse for today.
Okay. So you just set the title to object visualizer and created a heading called object visualizer too. So the title is going to go into the URL, will show up in the URL, right?
Yeah, so the title tag is what's going to show up in the sort of, well, the browser is going to display it as the heading of the window, I guess.
Okay.
Depending on your browser, or the heading of the tab, sort of what the browser does. It's kind of up to the browser actually what to do with the title tag. And then everything inside the body is visually popped up on the screen. So that's what people are going to see. So we're clearly going to need a form because I said we're going to have a text area. So let's start with one of those.
So we just put in a form/form.
Now you always have to have an action. So action spelled correctly would work better. Equals. If memory serves, it's JavaScript : void 0 semicolon. Basically means, dear HTML form, don't you do anything when I hit enter.
And why did you say 0 semicolon? You just put in 2 parentheses.
I meant to say 2 parentheses because that's actually.
Did you type that, or was that a text expander snippet?
No, I typed that, I think.
Okay.
So obviously my brain and my fingers can do different things, which is interesting.
Okay, so why did we say form action JavaScript void?
Okay, so by default, a web form was going to try send stuff to a server. Because traditionally in HTML1 land, that was the only way things worked. There was no such thing as JavaScript yet. So that means that if you hit the enter key inside a form that hasn't had its action set to JavaScript void, it will fall back to its old 1980s default and shove it off to the server. So you hit the enter key while you have something in the form selected, and off it'll go, and your whole page will refresh.
Never to be seen again.
Right. And so if you're doing JavaScript, you really don't want, in a web app that's JavaScript driven, the last thing you want is for the whole page to vanish when you hit the enter key.
Okay.
So by saying action JavaScript : void, what you're saying is don't send it to the server, do this instead. And JavaScript : void, well, the void function does what it says in the tin. It does absolutely positively nothing. So when you hit enter, the browser goes, I'm done. And it does nothing.
Okay.
So when we learned about forms, I think I just told you copy and paste this and just keep doing that until I tell you otherwise. And at some point within the next 50 episodes, we will stop doing that because we will actually start to do server-side code as well as client-side code, in which case we want our forms to be that interface between the front end and the back end, between the client and the server. But for now, we're all on the front end.
Okay, good.
So to make our forms look good, we have learned to use field sets that contain everything. So let's make one of those. Field set / field set. Why did you just do that with the wrong kind of bracket? And field sets get legend tags. So
I think I remember this. I think you have an extra closing bracket down below on the second field set, on the closing field set.
Do I? Oh,
The
yes, I
little white
do.
one?
There we go.
There you go.
That's
Okay.
something's looking wrong there. So legend.
Remind me what the legend does.
So that will be the sort of the heading over this chunk of the form.
Right. And that also tells screen readers what we're doing too, doesn't it?
It does, because a smart screen reader knows that a legend tag labels a field set.
Yeah.
Now,
Right.
at this point, I just realized that the H1 tag is completely ridiculous, because the legend will take care of that. So let's cut this down.
Okay.
So we're going to need
tag is gone.
Yeah. So we're going to need a place to put our code. So we're going to need some sort of text area. We're going to need a button.
So he's just putting in text area / text area, button / button.
And we're going to need somewhere to show our output. So I'm going to just use a div, because divs are div. Now, obviously, we need a little bit more than that, but these are the basic chunks. Our text area should probably be labeled.
Is that div written correctly? Because the syntax highlighting looks funny. It says div space, and it's a white slash.
I'm not sure you're probably not allowed to be. You're probably not allowed to have an open and closing div in one tag.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Thank goodness for syntax highlighting.
Oh yeah, that is. I think, like, if you're a really old school programmer, you can write code in Windows Notepad. You don't have syntax highlighting. But I think most actual programmers today, if you put them in a syntax highlightingless editor, would fail miserably.
Well, yeah, maybe it's a crutch, but then again, so is spell check. So shut up, right?
Well, is it a crutch or is
power
it
steering? I mean,
yeah,
I'm strong enough to not use power steering, but I don't want to.
Yeah, or throttle controls in a jet engine. Maybe it's a tool rather than a crutch. Maybe we shouldn't be pejorative about it.
I also really like how a lot of the editors, and I've seen it happening here with CodeRunner, and I know it does with Atom, is that it'll often, as you start to type something, it'll offer to give you the rest of it. I make far fewer typos when I let it do that.
So let me label this object description.
Okay, so tell us what you're doing here.
So a text area should have a label. So I'm just making a label. So we now have a label and a text area. Now the two are not connected.
That was going to be my question. Okay, so it's just label is above text area.
Yeah, so now we need to connect them. So step one is give our text area an ID so we can address it uniquely. The underscore code. Here in my IDs. Now we can say label 4 equals, C underscore code. So our label is now connected to our text area. We should probably wrap all of this in something. We're going to lay out our form. Let's lay it out as a list. It's like laying things out as lists.
Okay.
Unordered list item. So we'll pop list item. Yeah.
He's doing some nice little tabbing for us.
Yeah, always.
He's not a tab guy, huh?
Oh, yes. Tabs are evil because, right, tabs are fine until you start working collaboratively with other people.
Because you just make all your friends use tabs.
Well, no, because
hang out with tab people.
The width of a tab is different on every editor, right? So depending on how you configure it, a tab can be any width you like.
Right, so but as long as they look like a tab to everybody.
Right, but what happens then is you'll have some people will make the code look right by spacing whatever amount the tab looks, and then you open that code on someone else's machine, and a tab goes from 4 to 8, and suddenly the spaces are completely different to the tabs, and the whole thing breaks.
That's why I told you only make friends with people who use tabs. By the way, I think that closing UL needs a slash.
Yeah, it does. Otherwise, I'm just making a sub list. There we go.
There you go.
So,
all right. So tell me what we're doing here. We got a list item for our object description here, our label in our text area, and then we put a button in the next list area.
Right. So my form now contains a list, which is the text area with its label and the button. So
do you want to make that UL have no bullet?
We may or we may not. We'll I guess the visual stuff. So making it look pretty is kind of the very last thing. So step one is make it go.
Today.
Yeah. So yeah, we can do that, and we probably, depending on how this goes, basically, we're just going to keep going until we run out of time, and it'll be as pretty as it gets.
I wouldn't mind seeing that again though, because I had trouble finding it. How to make it not have a bullet.
Okay, well, actually, let's see where we stand now. So where's Safari?
So what is Bart doing? Bart's.
I suppose I should save this somewhere, shouldn't I? Yeah.
That's
so let's call this index.html in PBS 50.
All right.
So there's index.html. So because I am a huge user of Yoink, I'm just going to pop you there, and then I'm going to go to Safari, and I'm going to drop you into the address bar. Okay, so there's what we have so far.
Okay, so what I'm seeing on screen in Safari is object visualizer in a nice big box, got object description code with a text area, and then generate representation, and it's a button.
Yeah. Now I had intended my text area to be on the next line, but obviously that doesn't happen automatically. So
he's putting in line break.
Fresh. Okay, so we're getting there. That text area is awfully teeny weeny tiny, so let's fix that.
You're doing visuals.
That's sort of practicalities, right? You got to be able to type. So calls equals 50.
So he's editing the text area. He's got ID equals the code, and then calls 50. Row 20.
Yeah, so no idea how this will look. Yeah, so the number, so those widths and heights are in characters.
No, but why is one plural and one singular?
Because one is correct and one isn't.
Okay.
Yeah, that's much better.
All right, so now he's got a nice big box because he's got his rows and his columns.
So we can type in there. Okay. So if we want to do a little bit of our CSS jiggery pokery, I guess we can stick a style tag into the header here.
Now wait a minute. The one thing I wanted you to do in styling it, you didn't do, and you're making your own.
No,
stuff.
I'm going to do it now.
So he's putting style/style, but I didn't say to put it style in. What's that for?
Well, it's for how else we're going to make the ULs not have bullet points.
I thought you do it right in the UL tag.
You could do an inline style attribute, but that's
how I thought we learned to do it.
Okay, so we learned that you could CSS can be applied at the global level using a style tag in the header, or you can apply CSS by putting an inline style attribute straight into whatever it is. But if you put it straight in, then it's only going to affect one UL, whereas maybe we want to affect lots of ULs.
Yeah, this is something that's stuck on often because I usually I just want to do it this one time. I want all my ULs. I want them to have bullets except this one time, and then I get stuck on this whole doing. I don't want to go do CSS.
Well, you're always doing CSS, right? Whether you do an inline style attribute or whether you do a style tag, it's always CSS.
Okay.
In this case, though, I don't like doing inline styles because it comes back to bite you on any sort of substantial project. So I'm going to say,
try me to make me do it the right way.
Yeah. So let's give this a class and say no bullets.
Okay. So then he changed the UL to say UL class equals no bullets, and then up in his style type text/CSS.
Okay, so a selector then is what we want to apply our style to. So we want to apply it to all ULs with the class no bullets. Okay, so that much we got.
This is something I forgot that you could do inside the HTML.
You could do it as an outside file and link it in is the other way to do it. So I could have a separate.
Yeah, well, see, that's what always tires me when I'm doing it like on my WordPress blog. I don't want to just go like, oh, God, I got to go open the CSS editor. I got to go find the file to edit and add this line. And I just want one bullet without bullets.
Yeah, so if it's the kind of thing you want to do on multiple posts, I would say it's worth setting up a class that you can then use. I don't.
Usually it is specifically the thing I want to do once that it drives me crazy. So that's why I wanted to do it.
But when you say once, do you mean once in all of time or in the entire life?
Once in a very long time. Like I have wanted to have no bullets like twice in 13 years.
Okay, it's probably not worth the class then. Yeah.
I mean, maybe I would use it more often if I had it at my fingertips, but you got to work me a long time to convince me to do it because it's so much overhead to get to my CSS file to find the right one down in the child theme and decide what to call it and make space for it, decide blah, 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 put comments and then
I get okay. So in that case, that is sort of an exception. So if you were building a little standalone web app, I'd do it the right way. But if you're working inside a WordPress, that's kind of a different kettle of fish. I'll
Okay.
grant you that.
Okay.
Okay, so now at this point, I gotta go RTFM.
Okay. So he's going to go look for how to make it be a no bullets. So he's
Yeah, no
typing in
bullets.
CSS no bullets.
The good old fashioned Googles. And I always go for a Stack Overflow list.
Really? So yeah, I do like Stack Overflow, but that's just people's opinions, right?
Well, no, because it's
it gets
people's
voted up,
opinions that gets voted up and down, and the community is very strong.
but you wouldn't do MDN or
Oh, an MDM list is
Or
also yeah. I'll also
W3C
take an MDN. Yeah, I'll take Stack Overflow. I'll take MDN. I'll take W3 schools, but I'll take W3 schools after the other two.
Does it just list dash style colon none?
Looks like it. So list style is the property, and none means no bullet. That's probably enough. Let's check
All right.
that theory is correct.
Save and a refresh.
Yo.
Nope.
What do you mean, nope?
Oh, they just disappeared. It took a little while. There they went.
Yeah. I had to do a shift refresh. Yeah.
Right, but I thought.
Oh, you're getting a delay on the screen. Yeah,
Yeah,
my voice is coming through quicker than my screen. I bet you.
Because it's the speed of sound and the speed of light, right? Wait, which one's
yeah,
faster?
That's how it works.
Wait,
yeah,
faster.
I think it might be bandwidth constraint.
We'll find out. Okay. All right.
Okay, now at this stage,
thank goodness those bullets are gone. But that was useful to me.
It is, but now I'm a little bit cranky because it doesn't look good. So let me just enable developer mode. So show web inspector, because there's something else we need to do now because it looks silly at the moment.
Okay. So he's got his developer tools on, and your web inspector is a separate.
I have, well, you can dock it if you like. And now it's docked.
Mine is always docked. How do you undock it? Oh, look at that. I didn't know there's a little button there to undock it.
You can go to the other side as well, and that's just weird.
Yeah. No,
so you can go bottom. But I like mine undocked, especially on a laptop where I have less real estate, because then I can shove it away.
Right, right.
Okay, now.
What are you not liking about the look? I think it's beautiful.
Yeah, that's that left margin. So is that margin coming from... So is that margin on the LI or the UL? The margin is on the UL.
I don't know what margin you're talking about. Teach me. What are you talking about? The green one?
Yeah, that giant big green thing. It's like all the way over. It's shoved over.
Indented. Didn't the UL do that?
Right, but now that it doesn't have any bullets, that looks a bit silly. When there were bullets there, those bullets were sitting in that green gutter. And now that there's no bullets, that green gutter looks a bit... So I am going to get rid of that green gutter.
And so you've looked and you've decided it's the LI, not the UL?
Yes, which I can do thanks to developer tool. So when I hover over the UL, I see the green gutter, and when I hover over the LI, I don't. So that immediately tells me. And so orange in Safari, so this will be different in Firefox, but in Safari, orange is margin and green is padding.
Okay.
So it's the padding is what's causing that indent. So I need to set the padding to 0.
Wait. So you just happen to know that green is padding.
Yes.
Okay.
Which, well, we could discover it the hard way by setting margin : 0 px, hitting save, and watching absolutely nothing happen. No, that didn't achieve anything. So let's instead set padding.
You called it a gutter a minute ago.
There we go. That's better.
Wait, you called it gutter. Now,
yeah, gutter is an English description. Padding is a correct description.
Okay. All right. So now it's
at this stage. Yeah, so while we're here, we should also add a bit of spacing between our LIs. They're bouncing right on top of each other. There's very little gap there. But since we're messing with CSS, let's keep going with that. So a UL dot no bullets that contains an LI. So the LI is what we want to style.
Okay.
Very good job here, Mr. Editor. So I now want to say margin, have a guess, 3 pixels.
So that just moved it over to the right.
Right, because my 3 pixels went everywhere.
Okay.
So I now have 3 pixels all around my allies. 3 pixels is not enough.
And why did you see you in your spaces? You didn't line that up.
I didn't line that up.
Margin isn't lined up with padding and list style. That's upsetting to me.
Why are you? That's a really good point. It should be 2 of them. There we go.
Yeah.
Oh, and while we're here,
now what does he do? See, I did. I got you completely off track, didn't I?
You did, but since we're off track, let's stay off this track. So
what is the star?
Everything. I want to apply this to everything.
So under style, now he's just got star. Okay, he's going to put in some font family.
I hate serif fonts. So what do I like? Helvetica is my favorite, followed by Arial for Windows people, followed by
plain old sans serif, whatever you got.
Yeah, so the sans serif is an instruction to the browser saying, I will accept whatever you feel is appropriate in this category.
Okay.
So you always like to end with a general description. So a real font. Okay, browser, over to you.
Just no serifs.
Just no serifs. There we go. That's nicer looking. Yeah.
Okay.
Now we've joined the 21st century. Okay, so now we can stop messing around with that. So we've learned a little bit of CSS.
By the way, the font size you've got for Code Runner's looking really good on screen. This is great. Even when it's kind of dodgy because you're scrolling, it's still totally readable. So good job.
Oh, good. And it's not unusable. So that's
it might be confusing to people that Yoink is sitting open, however.
Yeah, let's clear that up. Goodbye.
There we go.
Okay. So let's get something going. So I never taught you how our JavaScript playground worked.
No.
At this stage, you know
PBS playground, right?
Yeah. So at this stage, there's nothing in the playground that we don't know about except for one magic ingredient. And I'm about to, pull back the curtain and show the wizard.
Ooh.
There is a function in JavaScript, built-in function, which is named eval. Go to the doc. And I want them from MDN.
So he just typed eval space MDN into his browser. Okay.
So the eval function takes as an argument a string, and it runs that string as JavaScript code.
Huh.
So if you think about what the playground is, it was a text box where you typed in some stuff, and then I ran it for you. The way I do that is with the eval function. Eval, short for evaluate.
That's all there was?
That's the magic ingredient of the playground, was the eval function. Yeah.
Wow.
That's going to be our magic ingredient today because we have a text box and we want to make it run some code.
Because now you can put text in, you can compress to the generate button, but it's not going to do anything.
Yeah, so we got to plumb it all in yet. But the piece that is new, the only thing I'm going to teach you today that you've never heard of before is the eval function, because that's how we're going to make our stuff actually run. So we now need a script tag.
And you're up inside the header again.
I am up inside the header again. Script type equals
text/JavaScript. Okay.
/script. Why are you not auto-completing? For me.
Okay. So we got an opening and closing script tag. We've said type equals text JavaScript.
The other thing we're going to need is jQuery. So let's get.
Oh, we have to go get the jQuery library. We're going to do it by a link to the real one?
We are just going to suck it right in, which is exactly what I said not to do in security bits yesterday.
I was thinking about that. So you went to code.jquery.com.
Yeah.
And you went to jQuery 3.x.
I'm going to click this button. Yeah. So slim means all of the fluff is taken out. So if you were to view this URL, there will be no tabbing, no spaces, nothing. It's just all of the JavaScript is a great big mush.
Oh, okay. Because that's just waste.
It's just
wasted. We're not
going
to go look at it, right?
Yeah, exactly. So copy. So that's now in my clipboard. So I can now go in here.
And he just pasted that inside his script tag. Huh.
And I don't like the fact that the JavaScript one doesn't say type equals text.
Wait, what is it you're doing? Oh, you just splatted over the thing you'd created and then had to fix it?
Yeah, because the default type for scripts is JavaScript today. but it's good practice to put the sodding MIME type in. So I always say script type equals.
Okay.
Someday we may have a new scripting language for the web. No idea when that day will be, but it might happen. Okay, so we now have jQuery. We now have all the HTML bits. So we're ready to do some plumbing.
Wait, we didn't do the eval thing.
Right, because we got to plumb it in, right?
Okay.
So the eval thing is going to come in.
You're going to put that into the script type equals text JavaScript that you created?
Well, so the idea is you're going to click a button to make something happen. And that something is going to be to read the text out of the text area and run it through eval. So we got some plumbing to do before we get as far as eval.
But you've got a script tag open there.
I do.
Not using that?
We're going to use it. We are, but...
Oh, okay, that's in a holding pattern. Okay.
It's in a holding pattern. So I need to make this button do something. So I'm going to need to give this button an ID so I can address it. So ID equals... I'm going to call it go BTN. Go button.
Okay.
I'm changing my mind here.
Uh-oh.
I'm going to call you code TA for text area, and because I have a naming convention, and if I don't follow my own naming convention, I'm just going to confuse myself in 5 minutes.
Okay.
So I had to change it in 2 places because it was connecting together the label and the text area. So now I always have my buttons end in BTN and my text areas end in TA. It's a habit.
Okay.
No particular reason. It's just a habit. And if I don't follow my own habits, I'm just going to typo everything as we continue this live demonstration. So do you remember how in jQuery we add an event handler to the document ready? So when the document is fully loaded, we want to execute some JavaScript that's going to hang or attach an event handler to our button. So do you remember jQuery's syntax?
I could find it fairly quickly because I know what I'd be looking for because I do remember that, but no, I don't know it off the top of my head.
So the dollar function does, if you give the dollar, the dollar function does all the heavy lifting. If you pass the dollar function either an anonymous function or a callback, it will run that when the document becomes ready. So all we need to do here is say function. And so that is now our document ready handler.
So we just said dollar function.
So that is one anonymous function.
Okay.
It has no name. It is just a function.
It also has no arguments.
It also has no arguments.
Which always confuses me because I always think that's an anonymous function, but I caught myself this time. I was like, there's another reason it's anonymous, but I forget why. It's because it has no name. Got it.
Yeah. Yes. So what we want to do is we want to add something to our button. So what's the jQuery for querying the page?
No.
Okay, well, first thing we've got to do is we've got to get the button. So to query the page, you use the dollar function, and the argument you pass it is a CSS selector as a string.
So that's our go button?
Yeah, so our go button has an ID. So do you remember the CSS for an ID?
It's hash, right?
Hash, octathorpe, pound, whatever we're calling it, that one.
Yeah.
So hash go button, BTN. So that has now got us this point in time,
right?
We're talking to it. So we've got to add a click.
Or listening to it.
We have asked jQuery to go fetch it. So we now have, so this evaluates to an object that represents this thing on the page. And then we're going to say dot. We're going to call the click function. And the click function, when you give it an argument of an anonymous function, it will run that function every time you click. So again, function. Why are you not indenting correctly, Mr. Programmer? Like that.
Okay, so we just gave, so we've got jQuery with the CSS selector go button, dot click, then an anonymous function.
So let's just prove to ourselves we've done what we think we've done. We just do a console.log. Always do this. I don't know why, but boo is always what I console.log. So going back to Safari, yeah, we don't need you anymore. So we'll go to the console tab and we will refresh our little page here.
All right. We have to press the button though.
Right, so nothing should have happened, and nothing has happened. So when I push the button, let's shrink you up a bit. Oh, well, now there we
Unexpected
go.
token. I see that one a lot.
So where have I gone wrong?
It's got an extra parenthesis, it's saying. Does it give us a line number?
Does it give us a line number?
I think it does. 1. But it's on the right where my face is covering it.
Anonymous function. What the? Now that's cryptic.
Okay, but this is super totally like programming, right?
This is super totally like programming, and I'll be darned if I can see it.
Did it say on line 1?
It does say on line 1, which is...
What's line 1? Oh, but that was a text expander snippet, so that can't be it.
It can't be it. So there's something weird.
Well, it has to be in that button function, right? You close that, and you close that.
You match.
Yeah.
You match.
So he's going... Oh, that... Wait, did that one right above match? The parenthesis on line 23?
Yeah, that's correct.
I didn't see something blink on line 23. Go up one. Oh, there. No, the squiggly bracket is, but go over the... Oh, there it is. Okay, no, the parenthesis there. I see that one. Should console be in white? Does that look right?
Yeah, it's console.log. Well.
All right.
So there's no syntax error on the main page. Syntax error, unexpected token. Line 1. You're talking rubbish at me. I don't like it when computers talk rubbish at me. It means something's gone seriously screwy.
And it definitely knows it's HTML, so that's playing right.
Yeah. Yeah, let's keep commenting out. Suddenly returns, although at this point the button should do nothing.
I'm real good at commenting stuff out to get it to...
Okay, that makes no sense.
So it has nothing to do with the button because he's commented that all out.
Right, this is the last line of my own code left. So if this doesn't fix the problem...
Well, the HTML is still there.
Super weird.
Now press the button. Error on line.
What in the world? That means that somehow problem is in jQuery? How could the problem be in jQuery?
Oh. Well, you did type in that text equals JavaScript. There's no typo in there, though.
If I managed to get my form action, I may have actually messed that up. That'd be hilarious.
The form action?
Hardly possible, though. Yeah. Let me Google that.
Oh, the way you typed it? Okay. Okay, he's searching for form action JavaScript null.
Void. Sorry.
Oh, okay, that one.
My brain went null and void. You're supposed to pass. Are you supposed to pass it as 0?
It is a 0, and you said 0.
So my brain was right.
Your brain was right. Your fingers were wrong.
So let's copy you. Right. Okay.
That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. You said it right. Uh-oh.
No. Okay, we're almost right.
All right. So it was supposed to be JavaScript : void 0.
Yeah. Okay, so now let's see if that makes sense.
Now, why it's saying line 0, I don't know.
There we go.
Yay.
Okay, so now let's comment.
You know what's good about that is that's something I won't forget now.
Yeah, and that's what I haven't come across before.
Command / gets rid of all those double slashes.
I was wondering what it was in this editor. I know it in my own editors.
And on the touch bar, MacBook Pro, it does that. It has the double slashes.
Okay, so every time I click the button, it goes boo.
Okay.
Boo, boo, boo. So we have successfully...
You didn't seem very excited that I said touch bar had a use. It is literally the only thing I use it for. Actually, no, I found a second use for it recently, but that's it.
Like all those really cool gestures on the trackpad, I like that in the future it's going to be fantastic. I just wish it'd hurry up.
Yep.
And actually 3D touch on the iPhone is a good example. Like that is now amazing.
Now
I use it all the time.
Yeah, but it had to get everywhere. Yeah.
Okay, so we need to read the contents of our text area. So how would we go about doing that? Well, again, we're going to have to address our text area. So
he's still inside the second anonymous function that goes on the go button when you click it, right?
And this time I'm going to save it. So const I'm going to call it $TA because of our naming convention, which is that anything I shove a jQuery variable into gets a dollar name so that I know what it is.
Wait, hang on. Why? This is where you always lose me. You name things something I wouldn't have. So is TA text area?
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
before you were using capital TA, now it's lowercase ta because you don't have any word in front of it.
Right. Yeah. So camel case, there's only one hump on this camel.
Okay. So you put a dollar in front of it, but that doesn't actually mean jQuery. You're just telling Bart this is a jQuery object or
Yes.
variable.
So the name is $TA, whereas the name of the jQuery function is $.
Okay.
So the jQuery function, we're going to pass it a CSS selector as a string argument, and we want to get the text area. So its ID is code TA. So what do we think we might pop in here?
Apparently code TA. But I don't know what we're doing. Why do we have a constant? Why are we creating a constant?
Because I want to save access to this text area. We're going to use it for a fair bit. So let's just shove it in a variable instead of always querying for it. So an ID is a
CSS selector? No. It's a...
As if I want to use an ID inside the CSS selector, I use what symbol?
The octothorpe.
Octothorpe. So code TA.
Okay.
So that HTML element is now safely saved into the variable $TA. So now
there will only be one code TA.
Yes, by definition. So an ID is unique within a document.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So we got a constant that's grabbing that whatever text we just flung into that box.
Well, it's grabbed the whole text area. So how do we get the text out? So do you remember?
Stringify it.
Or we in jQuery world, what we do is we get the value out of it. So the value of what we type is going to be, let's test this for ourselves. So console.log, $TA.val. So now every time we push the button, it's going to write to the console the value of the text area.
I'm confused.
Okay.
Why do you need to get the value of the TA? I thought code TA was the text area. It's the idea of the text area, but oh my gosh, is that another key value pair?
No, it's not a key value pair. It's an entire DOM object. Okay, let's just console.log TA. Now, Safari is very clever when you do that. So when you console.log it in TA, it's going to show you that it is actually the whole text area.
Text area ID equals code TA. Okay.
It has a whole prototype with blur and after, and everything you can do to a DOM element is here.
Okay.
Right. So the variable, it represents the DOM object, not the value of not the text inside the text area.
So why are you calling it a DOM object?
Because it is.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. No, okay.
But wait, let me finish my question. The box that's drawn on screen, is that a DOM object?
Yes. So that box you see on screen.
Is the button a DOM object?
Yes, it is.
Okay, so everything on screen is a DOM object. So this.
Yes, the whole document is made up of objects. So every HTML tag is represented inside the DOM as a separate object.
Okay.
So there's an object for the form, an object for the field set, an object for the legend, an object for the UL, an object for the LI, another one for the label, another one for the text area, another one for the other LI. Every tag gets
in that object. So objects have key value pairs. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah. So in this case, here's all the key
value we're asking for.
Well, the value we want is actually what's typed in.
Right. And that's just val.
Yeah. So jQuery's API says that the way you get it is with the val function.
Okay. All right. So ta.val open close.
Yeah. So ta.val open close.
Okay. Console.
Now, if we do a shift refresh every time, so let's type in boogers.
All right. We type in boogers as one
boogers.
There we go.
Snot. That's sort of snot.
Smooth.
You get the idea.
Okay.
So whatever I type in here, so we're successfully reading it out. I think we all agree. So that's part way to what we need.
Okay. I forget. What are we going to do in this text box? What's our end objective?
We're going to type some code in there and print out a representation of that code in this div down here that is completely empty.
Okay.
So we now have it. So at this stage, I need to declare a global variable.
Why?
So we're going to ask the user to type in a JavaScript for an object, and then we're going to render that object. So we got to save it. So they're going to type something in. We're going to read it with the magic eval function. And then we're going to shove it into a global variable and then draw it.
Okay.
So
I have no idea how you were going to do this.
Yeah, so let's build it up. So we can't use const because this is going to change every time they type something different. So let. I'm going to be very boring. The object.
Oh, no. Make it better than that. Come on. Everything on the whole screen's an object. The thingy.
Thingy I can do.
Okay.
The thingy equals an empty object. Very boring thingy for now. So we got to update thingy. So we're going to say the thingy.
So now he's inside the function that happens when the click happens.
So this thingy equals.
Becomes equal to.
Thank you. Eval of $TA.val.
Okay, hang on. Let me follow that. So we took our global variable inside our anonymous function that's going to get executed when we go through this click function. The thingy becomes equal to eval. So go evaluate $TA, which is our text area constant, and we're going to pull the value out of it. So we're going to evaluate what is typed inside that field. Got it.
Yeah. So let's test this. So shift refresh. So we're actually testing our real code. So let's start off simple. 5.
Okay.
And we hit generate. So at this point, nothing visual has happened, right? If we step through the code, we've shoved it into the thingy, but we've never printed it out. So let's, in our console, see what the value of the thingy is. Oh, look, it's 5.
So you can just write the variable name and it spits it back at you.
Yes, you can. That is one of the joys of the console.
Okay. And it's $1.
Yeah, so that's a Safari thingy.
Okay.
Basically, the first thing it evaluated to, if it were to evaluate to an array, it would show multiple.
I don't think you pushed the button. That's why when you said the thingy is...
That's a good point. So save it. Oh, can't find variable boogers. What do you mean can't find variable boogers?
What?
Yeah, not what. We're evaluating it as code.
And boogers is a string, so it needs to be in quotes.
And there we go. No error now. And now if we get it to print out the thingy, there we go. It's no boogers.
All right.
But what we really want, actually, is to start making objects. So key value pair stuff colon.
What's it? Yeah, that's the standard.
So we've now saved it, and now let's print it out.
Okay, so what did you, it's a little hard to see the text on. Can you do a Command plus on the Safari window for me?
That's a good question. Can I? Oh, yes, you can. Cool.
Yeah. Oh, and actually on the window behind it, especially. There you go. Just Command plus that. There you go. This is what I do all day long, looking at your blog while we talk. Okay, so you just put in squirrely brackets stuff colon what's it?
So let's build up an object that's a bit bigger.
Okay, so he's putting in some.
Oh, so I saved it, and so let's
made us a little dictionary.
Oh, parse error.
Uh-oh.
Where's my syntax gone wrong?
What didn't like about boogers colon?
Yeah, what's wrong with that?
Comma's the right thing between them, right? And you got single quotes around snot and what's it? You don't need a comma after snot, do you?
I shouldn't do.
I didn't think so.
So obviously eval isn't.
Oh wait, it doesn't like it doesn't like the colon. That's where it's saying parse error. Unexpected.
That is correct JavaScript syntax though.
And it take out booger snot again and see if it does that same error. Cut that line. Because I thought it worked before you did that. I do that.
Yeah, but it's not quite doing what I expected it to do. So we may need to change our strategy here. So I am going to change my strategy. Yeah. So I'm just going to eval it, and we'll write some instructions to the user. So
you just did something real quickly and didn't tell us what you just did.
I did. So because I'm testing kind of.
I know, but you got to take us through the test.
Okay, so I'm changing the rules mid-sentence. So
What did it used to say a second ago?
It said the thingy equals eval.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to change the rules. So let's change the rules visually. So where is our label? There's our label.
Hang on. You're not talking about what you changed.
I know, because I'm going to type what I'm. Okay, so all I changed was that I was assigning. So I had what did I have?
Global variable of the thingy
becomes equal to the eval. I'm not doing
right. That. Okay.
Then I'm going to make the eval. So I'm just going to run the code. I'm not going to save it to anything. So I'm now putting in a paragraph here to tell people what to do.
Okay. So he's putting a p tag.
Enter code above and save the value to be rendered into a variable named
the thingy.
Yeah, but I'm not going to call it the thingy because now that's annoying now. So
wait. Okay.
That's more friendly, right?
No, because now I know what the thingy is, and now I don't know what you're doing.
Right, I've just changed the rules is what I'm doing because we're making this up as we go along. So the thingy is not going to exist anymore. The thingy is... Okay. So I am telling the person to type code into that text box, which sets the value of a variable named output.
I don't know why we went to elaborate work to change the variable name. That doesn't...
Because this eval doesn't work the way I thought it did.
But that it could still be called the thingy.
Right, but then people have to type the thingy equals into this text box, and that's just really confusing. Hey, why is my script like code tag not working?
I don't know what we're doing now. I'm lost. And I don't know why you put code/code inside code.
No, it's inside the P tag.
Inside the P tag? Okay. Oh, so you're just doing for the font. That's what you're doing.
Yeah. And why isn't it working?
I don't know what you're doing. You lost me.
Yeah, but that should render as nice. Oh, I know what I'm doing. I'm being too... Because
you forced...
I said every single tag should be Helvetica, Arial, or sans serif, including the code tag. So how's about we just say that inside the body, the default font is Helvetica, Arial, and sans serif.
So we aren't inside the body anymore?
We are, but the code tag doesn't inherit from its parent, whereas the paragraph tag does.
Okay.
So now this won't be so broken.
Okay. And the definition of broken was that the font for the word output wasn't right. I don't know what you did, though, so you have to back up and tell me.
Yeah,
I don't know what we're doing.
Okay. So the idea is that whatever you type in here should affect the variable named output.
Okay. I guess I'll get over that, but I don't know still enough why we did it. You just don't like the way it looked.
Call it boogers then, but that's going to make very unuser-friendly code.
It was the thingy. It was... I don't understand the value of changing it in the middle because it was something we had.
Because I was going to shove the val straight into the thingy, but that doesn't work.
So we're not even going to have that variable anymore.
No, we are, but we're making the user write straight to it. So I'm telling the user that they have to enter code here that affects the value of output. So they need to say output becomes equal to... Oops.
So now he's typing in the box in the text area. And I don't know why.
So what were we doing here? We were doing... What did we have in here? We had stuff... colon... what's it? And we had boogers, colon... snot. Okay. So that should save...
So let's talk about what we've got here. In the text area, he says output equals squiggly bracket, and he's got the two key value pairs, stuff what's it, and booger snot.
So that is the JavaScript code for assigning the variable output to an object with two keys, stuff and boogers, with the values what's it and snot.
Okay.
Yes? So that should now, when I hit the generate button, we call eval, so that code should execute. So now the value of output should be that object. Yay!
So type an output. Now he's got an object, stuff what's it, booger snot. Okay. And that didn't work before because
where for some reason returning from eval wasn't returning the object. It was obviously doing something different. It was giving you
the first value, right?
Yeah, I wasn't behaving correctly, so I changed my... Like I said, I didn't practice this. We're entirely flying by the seat of our pants here.
Okay.
And the other thing that's going to drive me absolutely crazy if I don't fix this now is that I really want my text area to have a fixed width font. So I am going to say
actually,
in the
I'm
CSS...
with you on that one.
Yeah, so in the CSS...
Can I guess? Can I guess?
Off you go.
Whether I'll get it right or not yet, I need to see an example of where you did so it's gonna be .ta, but I don't know if that's a UL. No, it's text area .ta.
Well, is it dot or dot means class? We didn't set a class, so if you look at the source,
it's gonna be hash code.
Yeah,
hash code TA. So okay, hash code TA.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't need to say where it is. It's not as a subset of anything else.
Well, there can only be one of them, right?
Oh, right, because it's an ID. Gotcha.
So it would be perfectly valid to say text area hashcode TA.
Oh, it would be. Okay, but it's unnecessary. Okay,
yeah.
Good. No, that's better. I got you. Okay. And then we want to say font dash family : courier.
I'm just going to be very lazy and just say all I really care is that it's sans serif. So I'll let the browser decide what it feels is best, but it definitely wanted sans serif.
Wait, but sans serif doesn't mean fixed width font.
No, it doesn't. You're right.
So we want to say courier.
I want to say monospace is what I meant.
Oh, okay, monospace. So that's the final thing. Okay, that I'll allow it. So you should have copied that code so you could have pasted it back in.
That works.
Put it in Yoink.
Exactly what I was going to do.
So output equals squiggly bracket stuff colon what's it, and then comma. Getting the hang of this. All right, boogers colon string snot.
I can't type, but yeah. So
okay.
I get into Yoink. There we go. Let's now safely put aside generate representation, which should not do anything visual yet.
But if you say output.
Okay, so that is now working, and we have our fixed width font. So sanity has returned.
So technically, you've actually already achieved the objective, haven't you?
No, because I haven't rendered anything, right? Nothing happens except in the console.
Yeah, you're right.
So we've gotten halfway there. We've managed to suck it in. Now we've got to splat it out.
Okay.
So our output div is going to need to become addressable. So let's give you an ID.
This really does help watching it be grown.
Cute.
Organically.
That would be the case.
Yeah.
Okay, so out div is going to be our output div.
Okay.
Yeah. Not very exciting, but
no, but that does
bad excitement
for.
Okay, so
now you're going back to the script.
Yeah, so now let's make this click function be a little bit more useful. So let's put in some comments to ourselves here. Get the, let's say, run the code in the text area.
Okay.
Render out. That was easy to say. Now what? Well, the first thing we're going to need is we're going to need that output div. So let's get a reference to that. So const $out equals. We need a reference to it. So $function. So the string, that's a CSS selector. So it's going to
wait. I don't know what we're doing.
I want to save into a variable called $out the DOM object representing our div, which we've just given the ID out div.
Okay.
So
why?
Pound. Because that's where we want to draw the picture of what our code represents.
So because we've got an out div where we want to write to it, we are going to define a variable.
Yeah, so $out is just going to be a variable that represents that div so that I can address it.
Is that just so it's easier to type? Is that why you do
it's easier to type and more efficient, right? Because when I say $, and I give it a string, it has to go search the document. Now, in the case of a teeny tiny document like ours, that's not a big ask.
Okay, but why ask it over and over again? Okay,
exactly. Yeah. So ask it once and save it, and then we can just keep using our saved copy instead of making it do the work over and over and over and over.
Plus easier to type.
Plus easier to type, which is also good.
Okay.
So render the output. Okay, so I am definitely going to want my output as I have decided I want my output as a list. So I'm going to make a new list item. So we're now going to do our first bit of making stuff with jQuery. So I know it's going to be a list item. No, it's going to be a UL.
So he wrote const $UL.
Now, we're going to now use jQuery to make things instead of query things. And the way you make things is you give it as an argument an HTML tag as a string. I said I wanted a UL, so there we go. That's now going to make me a UL. That UL now exists in limbo, right? It's not in the document. It just exists in RAM. So it's not visible in any way, shape, or form.
Okay.
I know I'm going to want to make it visible. So I'm going to just write that line of code now, even though lots of stuff is going to happen between lines 32 and 33.
All right.
So to make it actually happen, I'm going to say $out append.
Wait, your audio broke up. $out.append.
$UL.
Parentheses $UL. So what does that say?
So the append function adds one DOM object into another at the end, at the back of it. Now this is so $out is an empty div, so adding it to the back is the same as adding it to the front. But anyway,
so wait a minute. So we've got this. Wait, stop moving. $UL getting appended to $out, and $out is our out div.
Yes.
Okay.
So that now we're going to do lots more stuff in between here, but that is definitely going to be the last thing I want to do, right? I'm building up this list. I should really do something with it.
Okay.
Otherwise, it's a very useless list.
Okay.
So just like I like to pair my brackets, I also like to pair my create and append so I don't forget, because otherwise you have weird bugs where you're convinced you've written something to the document, but there's nothing appearing in my browser. Where's it gone? Well, if you forget to append it, it is in limbo forever.
So you start by appending?
I start by appending, and then I arrow up and make myself an empty line. I go, right, so what am I appending?
Okay.
So at this stage, what we want to write out depends on what the person has entered in. Now, there's one more small little thing. The first time I click the button, the div is going to be empty. The second time I click the button, the div will have in it whatever was in it before.
Ah, so we need to .empty it?
We do. So let's just do that. There we go. Now it's empty the moment we get it.
So when you created the constant, you're saying take that out div and empty it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So what I'm saying here is find the out div, empty it, and then save the out div into the variable $out.
I forget exactly the context. I think it was in our farm, but Dorothy slapped her head when she saw .empty. She was trying to think of what is it she needed to do. She knew she needed to empty, but the word empty just didn't come into her head. So now I'll remember .empty.
Yeah, and jQuery is often well written in terms of its picking good names, and that is definitely an example of a good name. And to be honest, append is a good name too. Okay, so now we have our empty div, we have a UL, but that's still not very interesting. So we want to draw out whatever it is that is in the variable output. So the first thing to figure out is what type is output. So I am going to start with our friend, the switch statement.
Oh, I remember. I really like the switch statement, but I have no memory of what it does. I remember I loved it.
So what I want to switch is type of output. So what could the type of the output be?
Wait, what? I forget. What does switch do? Why do we want to?
So switch says basically it's a bunch of if. It's equivalent to saying if output equals this, else if output equals this, else if output equals this.
Yeah. That's why I liked it, because I got tired of if else's.
Yeah, it's easier to read code as well. So case, the first thing it could be is a Boolean. Case Boolean. We'll do something. We'll figure that out later. The other thing it could be is a number.
Oh.
It'll be a string. Okay. So that's next.
All right. So he's just putting each of the cases in, so that's good. So that's an interesting way to do it. Don't figure out everything you got to do to it. Figure out what cases could be there first.
Yeah, and then finally defaults. We'll figure out what to do with a default later. We're gonna want one of those. So there we go. That's a start. Okay, so let's write the code for what to do if we get a Boolean. Actually,
so type of output of what?
Output is the name of our variable.
Oh, that's right. Okay. So what is it we wanted to do?
We wanted to print out what's in output in a pretty way. So let me think about this. Regardless of what it is, actually, if it's any of those three, I can just print it out as a string. So they're actually the same as each other.
That's what I thought. So Boolean, it's either going to say true or false.
Yeah.
Number, it's going to say the number, and string, it's going to say the string, right?
So let us say, so const, we're always going to need a list item. Is what goes into an unordered list except list items. So let's do that.
Equals dollar, open parentheses, quote, open li, close, square, diagonal bracket, whatever they call it. There. I almost said it.
Yeah, I knew that's what you meant. And again, just because otherwise I'll forget, $ul.append $li. So whatever we do with this li, we're going to shove it in
to our ul.
Yeah, so at this stage, let us...
So do you need ORs between those cases, or do you not, because it's switch doesn't require an OR?
That is the magic of the switch statement. Okay. So until you explicitly do this, which is I now need to remember to do, until it meets a break, it will keep executing all the code.
Okay.
So case Boolean, it's going to keep running all code it meets until it meets a break. Case number, it'll run all the code it meets until it meets a break. Case string, it'll run all the code it meets until it meets a break.
Okay.
So for those three, we're going to do the same code.
Is break supposed to be indented like that?
Yes, because, well, yeah, I would argue it should. I always write it that way.
It's like the else statement, essentially. You wouldn't have to, but it makes sense to be out there.
Well, it's the end of the case, right? It's not the start. Yeah.
It has no squiggly.
You could make an argument. Yeah,
you could make an argument. There's no rule to it, but it makes sense.
So for now, let's just make sure this is even working. So let's just set the text. Li.
So wait, const $li was this list item, and then you're saying li.text.
Yeah. Now let's. Okay, I'm gonna need.
What is? You're doing something. I don't know what it does.
I am doing something. So we want to write out some text into our li. But what to text? What I actually want to write out is.
He's writing a const. Don't know why.
Output type. I'm going to save the output type instead of just having it go away. So I'm just going to say
const type equals type of. Output.
Exactly.
Okay.
So I'm just literally just saving that exact same thing. And I'm going to switch on that. And then
on output type. Okay, so we've got const output type of output, then switch on output type. Yeah.
Yeah. And now I'm just going to say make the text of the list item be the output type.
But the output type is the type of output, so it's just going to say Boolean, string, or number.
Yeah. Yeah. But let's get that much working, and then we'll make.
Why do we want to do that?
Well, just so we can see our code is actually behaving in an even vaguely same way.
I don't know what you're doing now. Okay.
So in theory, if I have done this even half right.
Oh, it should say string?
It should say string, right?
Because you wrote output equals boo in quotes.
Yeah, and it doesn't say string. So why doesn't it say string?
Where would it be saying string? Refresh. Down below?
Okay, so have I saved you? Yes, I have. Shift refresh. Ah.
Output equals boo. Bop.
Show you into yoink as well. Click generate and see what happens. Hey,
there
string.
So now it says string and it's got a little bullet there, and that's how we know that's our li that's in a ul.
Yeah.
Okay.
So true should generate Boolean. And it does.
Okay.
Okay,
that's why you're doing it. Okay.
So we're getting there. So that's actually not particularly useful at all. So let's actually say
li.add.
Sorry, that's typo there. I'm going to save the type into the object as a class so that we can style them differently.
Okay, hang on. What? li.add class. Is that a...
Yeah, that's a jQuery function to add a class. So we're going to say that if something is a string, it gets the class string. So then we can do things like saying...
Hang on, go back. Go back. li.add class output type. So all of those, as we put in booleans, numbers, and strings, whatever we put into that list item will have a class associated with what it is.
Yes.
Okay. I don't know why.
No text. Well, because that way we can style them differently. So, and then we also want to give it some text, and the text should just be the thing itself. So the thing itself is output.
Oh, okay.
Right now,
okay, so hang on. Li dollar
Yeah.
$li. That was our variable. There, our constant. We've done an add class, and so its class will become whatever its output type is, which we've already said is going to be whether it's Boolean, number, or string. It'll be Boolean, number, or string. Then dot text parentheses output. That'll actually, we don't need the val of text. We could just do text.
Right, because this is not a text area. This is an HTML tag. So what we are saying here is we will make the text inside that list item be whatever we say here.
I've lost track of what output
was. Well, okay. So inside
output is not HTML. Output is whatever they said output is.
Right, exactly.
So I'm still lost on dot text parentheses output.
Okay, so the text function.
Oh, it's not. We've lost our text area nonsense. We're not doing that anymore.
We're not doing a text area.
Yeah,
we're working on our list item here.
Okay.
Right. So if I add a class, that will be a completely invisible list item. It has to have some text as well, and the text should be what they typed.
Okay.
So at this stage, what we should see is not going to be very exciting, but we'll see it anyway. Drop you back in, and then generate, and it's just going to say boo.
Okay, so he put output equals boo back in, generate representation boo. So go back to the code again. So you added a class output type. We never.
Okay. Yeah, let's see. But I'm going to show you that in a moment.
Go back, please. Please. I was reading. Add class output type. Output type is our constant. Our constant is the type of output.
So I can show you that if you like.
Hang on. So, wow. Now I'm.
Okay, so let me show you. Show is easier than say.
Okay.
So here's our boo that we made. So let's inspect it with the inspector. Let's inspect you, list item. Okay, so list item class equals string. Boo. Does that make it any more obvious? So I said add class.
Type of output, and the type of output of boo is a string. So the class became string, and then it made a list item with boo.
Yeah, because I said the text should be whatever the value of output is.
Convoluted to get there. Jeez.
Welcome to jQuery.
Well, I guess.
jQuery is very explicit, right? You have to explicitly say, give me an li, give it a class, give it some text. So we have an li with a class and some text, right? It's very...
Why did we have to give it a class of its type of output?
Because I want to make strings look different to Booleans.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. I think you vaguely said that earlier, but I didn't know. We didn't have to do that.
We didn't have to, but I want to.
I know, but go back to the text. What would disappear if you hadn't done that? Just the add class output type?
Well, okay, so I can take that out if you like.
Could it just be li.text output? Text parentheses output?
Okay, so let's now do a shift refresh. I can drop our thing back in. Generate. And so now if I inspect that same element.
Yeah.
Oops. Sorry.
So
inspect you. There we go.
So it just says li boo. Okay. Right. I'm happier now. Now you can put it back. It helps me understand what it is to not with seeing it created before I know why it's there. That's what threw me for a loop. Okay. I think I followed that.
So now let's actually do something with that. So let us say that inside our output div. So
now he's back up in the CSS styling.
So inside our output div, if we come across something with the class string, what do we want to do to strings?
I think they want to be italics.
Well, we have amazingly similar minds, and I can never remember the CSS for italic, so off to the Googles with us. CSS italic. I think it's either text dash style or font dash style, and I always get them wrong.
Yeah. That makes
font
me
style.
Feel better. Font dash style. Okay.
There we go. Font dash style italic.
And just steal it. There you go. You really do Google a lot.
Oh God, yeah. The most important skill.
Okay.
Okay, so now that's one taken care of. But while we're here, let's do all three. So
Okay.
pound out div inside there a dot boo.
What should we do booleans? I want all caps. Can I have that?
So,
That's
yes,
too
we
hard.
can. No,
Or
no, it's
bold.
very easy to do.
Okay.
That is very easy to do. So that is text transform.
Oh. Text dash transform.
Transform.
There you go. Capitalize. Ooh, it auto-filled form. Nice.
And then I'm going to say that for both. So pound.
So now pound out div
number.
What should we do with number? I'll let that be dealer's choice.
Now I'm going to say that I'm going to start using color here. So I'm going to say that strings are going to get the favorite color, dim gray. And the great thing is it lets you do that both ways. So it'll work with an A or an E.
Oh, interesting.
I'm going to have Booleans B. What will I have?
Can it be green?
I don't want to use green or red because that implies true or false. So how's about blue?
Okay. Color colon.
Blue.
He likes dim blue.
Yeah, that's sort of, otherwise it's a bit shouty.
Huh. And why aren't there semicolons at the end of those lines?
Yeah, they're supposed to be.
Ah, it makes me feel a little better. Okay.
The rest of them are all in place, aren't they?
Yeah.
So for a number, let's go with green.
All numbers are true.
Now, for both the number and the Boolean, I want them both.
Wait a minute. You didn't set a font transformation or anything. Do you just going to make numbers be regular?
Well, there's no such thing as a capital number, right?
No, I know. I'm just saying you didn't do like a font style italic or anything. Did you want it to be anything fancy?
I do want to do something fancy. I do want to do something fancy, but they should be monospace, but both of those should be monospace. So I'm going to use the comma operator and do the two at once.
Outdiv dot boolean comma outdiv. You don't do outdiv twice, do you?
I do. One selector, comma, the other selector.
I thought outdiv could talk to boolean and number, that you didn't need to say it twice. Huh.
Nope.
Okay.
What that would mean, if I left out the second outdiv here, it would mean that everything with the class number everywhere in the document would get the style. Now, in our case, you wouldn't notice the difference.
Yeah. But it does mean something different.
It does mean something different. So font dash the monospace semicolon.
Okay, so we've got.
Right, so now we have a lot of testing to do here.
Did you save?
Testing. I did save. I'm going to now do a shift refresh. So our boo should now come in as italics and dim gray, and it does. If I set it to true, it should be in monospace. That color doesn't seem to have worked though.
No, it's also not monospace.
Well, it is. No, it is monospace. That's
is
monospace.
It? Oh, yeah. Okay.
But Boolean should have text transformed.
Yeah. Wait, that was. Yeah.
Right. They should have capitalized.
Capitalized. And dim blue.
No, capitalize. It did capitalize. That's the wrong one.
Oh, you want all caps.
Okay, so now we've got RTFM.
Text transform, all caps.
Definition. That'll do.
Okay, so we're at the CSS text transform.
It is uppercase. Uppercase. I guess we would have guessed that eventually.
Yeah. Okay. There we go.
So
but it didn't pick up dim blue either.
It didn't. So dim is obviously it may be dark for those. CSS color names. May or may not pick up that typo. I've been here before. I've been here before many times.
You're going to do a search on dim?
Darks. Yeah, no, it's dim for the grays and it's darks for the others.
Ah, okay. So it just skipped over it though.
Yeah, because it's nonsense, so it just ignored it. It's like, you're talking rubbish, I will ignore you. A lot of things
working exciting.
Okay, drag and drop you back in. So we still have our boo. So true. It's
capital blues.
And 42 should be Green.
Green.
That is.
That's a number. Yay! Technically, it's doing everything you said now, right?
Right, but I really wanted to deal with objects. So now is where things now is where the rubber really meets the road.
Okay.
So
are we gonna draw a chicken or something?
Not quite. Not quite gonna draw a chicken. For default, we also need to do something.
Wait, okay, where did you just... Oh, we're down in our switch. Yeah.
Yeah. So we haven't yet decided what to do if we give it something we don't know about. So we should definitely do that.
So what is something that's not a Boolean number or a string? An object.
I'm going to be a little bit clever here and say that
right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
I'm going to take our list item and take it outside of that case so that it always happens, even in the case of the default.
Okay.
Save myself some typing. We always want to do that.
Oh, and it's only when it's a Boolean number or string that we want to just text the output.
Oh, hang on. Something's gone wrong. Oh, I copied instead of cut. There. We create our list item. If it's a number Boolean or string, we do that. Otherwise, what do we do? What do we do in the case of a default?
I don't know. What do you want to do? You want to render? You want to eval? I don't know. What do you want to do? You're just typing stuff.
I'm saying for now, unknown. If you give me something that isn't one of those...
text unknown. Okay.
Yeah. And in fact, let's say... Let's add a class to it as well so that we can...
So li.add class.
Or well, that's a bit evil. Call it unknown.
Like error unknown. Okay.
Style unknowns. I'm going to style them red though.
You do like making stuff all fancy colors.
Yeah, it's,
div dot unknown.
Color dark red.
Dark red.
And I'm also going to say font minus weight : bold.
Ooh. This is going to be seriously wrong.
So if I say output equals an empty array, that's an empty array is not one of our things we know about. It should say unknown.
There we go.
Okay. So we now have a default case, but we should not run into it so often. Okay, so after here is where we now have things to happen. So case. The other thing it can be is a function.
This is after the break. Don't you need it above the break?
No, because if it's a Boolean number or string, do that and stop. If it's a function, do something else and stop.
So we need another break. Bingo. There we go. Okay, I feel better. So if it's a function, what do we want to do?
So we say output class.
So he's doing an li add class now function.
We can just use output type. It is function.
What?
We can do that, right?
Wait, you're going to use the same output type? Okay. Or the same class?
Well, no, because output type is actually going to become equal to function here. It's just rather than typing it as a manual string, I'm just saying. Okay,
but it'll get styled the same way, right?
Well, no, because its class will be function, but its text is going to be, what is this?
Okay. Oh, that's right, because we write into output type. Output type is a variable. Got it. Okay.
I'm going to let JavaScript do the work. I'm going to simply say output dot string.
Okay, hang on. Tell me what you're mumbling, and I don't know what you're doing.
Okay, so in JavaScript, every object has a toString function, either the default one or one you've written yourself. So I am just going to say, if it is a function, I'm going to throw my hands in the air and say, dear JavaScript, you deal with this. No idea what it's going to do. It may even be browser dependent.
Just spit it out on the screen.
Yeah. So
the function will actually get spit out on the screen.
Well, I don't know. Let's see what JavaScript chooses to do. So I'm going to say dot function. I think dark red is probably appropriate because we're not going to be able to do anything very sensible here. And you broke my indentation.
Yeah, why did it do that?
I think there's a lot of
really likes tabs.
It does. I think there's all sorts of tabs mushed into this code. I think it's very messy code under the hood.
Okay.
Okay, so output becomes equal to function.
Can you just say true or something?
Yeah, well, it's even a valid function there. That's enough. Oh, that's interesting. So Safari is quite clever about things.
So I don't. You need to say out loud what just happened.
Okay, well, I'm testing a theory. I'm testing a theory here.
But it would be interesting to know what you're thinking as you get there. Before you do it,
I think Safari is actually going to show the code for the function.
But hang on. So output equals function. You just did an anonymous function and it was empty. What it spit on screen in our text to string was the function, or exactly what output is called.
Not just what it's called. I think it's actually the actual function. Yeah. So Safari, when you toString a function, actually puts out the code, which is damn nice of it.
That's exactly what I thought we were telling it to do. That's what I said.
We just told it to toString the function. I have no idea what toString was going to do. I'm pretty sure in Firefox it just puts out open square bracket function close square bracket.
Hang on. So when you type that in, go back. When you type that in, no, where are you going? Back in CodeRunner. When you type that in, I said, so it's going to type the function onto the screen, and you said no.
I said
we don't know what it's going to do.
Right.
That seems obvious. Why would you just told it to type the whatever the output is to put it on screen?
Oh, I said the output's toString function. So whatever the toString function for a function does, which apparently just is the content of the function. I didn't know it was going to do that.
It seems like the only thing it could do. Why do you
think because
different in Firefox?
Because I have often seen functions console.logged as open square bracket, the word function, close square bracket, or as open square bracket object, comma function. So not all browsers are so friendly. But since Safari,
how could one browser do one thing with this JavaScript and a different browser do something else? Do they have different versions of JavaScript? No, we told it which JavaScript to use.
That doesn't mean there aren't inconsistencies. We are not living in the dark days of the 1990s when there were more inconsistencies than you could shake a stick at, but we are still not in a world where everything is exactly the same.
Can you open this in Firefox? Because I don't understand what else it would. I'm not following what you're saying it would do.
Well, what I thought it might do, I'll demonstrate what I thought it might.
Well, just open up Firefox. I want to see what it does.
I did do that. Oh, there we go. Oh, yeah. Sorry, Firefox hasn't been open on this machine in quite some time.
It's updating.
It's updating itself. It looks. Don't refresh Firefox just because I haven't used you in a while. Don't get cranky with me.
I think that's what it's going to do. There you go. Your Firefox is out of date.
Whining at me.
What's that?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. It's downloading horribly.
Horribly. Uh-oh. Well, you still sound good. Your screen still looks good.
Okay. Restart Firefox to update. When the updates are ready to be installed, click Restart Firefox. Okay.
Can you do this without restarting Firefox?
I don't know.
And finish that later?
Well, it's telling me it's critical.
Okay.
Critical sounds bad.
This sounds real time. The new Firefox, fast for good.
It keeps opening tabs. Have you actually done anything?
It keeps saying you're still out of date, but can we just see what it does with that coder?
Let's see what it does.
All right.
So
go grab that code, open equals function, console.logs.
Okay, it does the same thing.
Same thing. Okay. That makes sense to me.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't have gambled on it. I wouldn't have.
Okay.
I wouldn't have put money on it.
I was naive then.
I'm glad to see we're living in a world where sanity has more sway.
Okay.
Now, since it's going to spit out some code at me, I'm also going to do that.
Okay. So he just changed the font family to monospace for outdiv, the class outdiv.function.
There we go.
No.
Well.
Yes. Did I say that right? The class outdiv?
You did. Yeah. Well, no, the class function.
With the ID.
Yes. So outdiv
Outdiv. Gotcha.
contains an UL, which contains an li, and that li has the class function.
Okay, got you. We lost
I'm
our
just gonna
function.
be lazy.
Just do your little one.
As little a function as I can possibly.
Big arrow function. Okay.
That works. Okay.
All right.
Okay, so now we're coming to the scary part.
What?
We're now going to have to deal with the possibility of recursion.
Why?
Because the only data types left are arrays and objects, and arrays contain booleans, numbers, strings, and so forth.
Okay. Why is that scary?
Because it means recursion. And recursion can always go wrong.
Okay.
Okay, so case function we're dealing with, we break. Now, this is the case where things go horribly.
Don't be scared, Bart. I'm here.
Object.
Okay.
And this is the one easy line of code.
He's going to put it a break.
Right, so objects could be an array. So let's start with that. If now we are using jQuery, which means I have at my disposal the wonderful jQuery function is array, which should be part of standard JavaScript, but isn't. So if $.isArray.
Oh, so you had to get it from JavaScript, right?
I had to get it from jQuery because it does not exist in JavaScript. It's a static function, by the way, because I know that because what's on the other side is the name of the prototype, which is $. Because
okay.
Because in jQuery land, that's yeah. Okay. So if we are.
So what do you want to do if it's an array?
The easy thing is I'm going to mark it as such. I'm going to say add class array. So that's easy.
Okay.
We're also going to want to start our array as having the text square bracket, square bracket. So we want to start and end with square brackets. That much is also easy.
What do you mean?
So when we want to print out an array, it's going to start and end with a square bracket.
So that's not, oh, but you're going to hit an enter and do some other stuff in between.
Yeah, then the hard part happens.
I was going to say, well, that's pretty, okay, we're done. We got square brackets. We're good.
Actually, you know, let me think about this. Yeah, no, that's not what I want to do.
Well, what do you want it to be like when you're done?
I think I want a linked list. I would think I want a list inside a list.
Okay.
What I think I want. Right. Okay. So at this point in the game, what I think we need to do is we need to deal with some stinky smells. So we need to write ourselves a little function. We don't have any functions yet. We're very, very low on functions. So let us go write one.
Yeah, we're pretty much all in one button. That's a function, right? That's it.
Yeah, exactly. So that's very unusual.
So back up and tell me why you think we need a what smells and why do we need a function?
Okay, so this code, this stuff here is going to have to happen over and over again inside of our array. Because if we have a Boolean inside an array, we need to do the same thing as we do to a Boolean not inside an array.
Ah.
Okay. So obviously there's going to be code reuse here. So what we need to have is a function to render a thingy.
All right, I got my thingy back. I'm happy.
I'm going to call you render item, though, because that's much more.
Okay, function render item.
No idea what arguments it's going to need yet. So we're going to fill this in as we go. Live coding. First thing we're going to need is the item. So let's call you item. Then we're going to need.
So item is just, you're saying all these things that it might be.
So we'll return an li. I think that's how I'm going to do it.
Okay.
So at that stage, what I know so far is I'm going to want
is the item whatever it is these people, fictional users, type in our text box?
Right. So if you, yes, but if you have an array, it's going to have lots of items. So if you give, if you type into the text box an array with 5 items, then there's a total of 6 items, the array itself, and then the 5 items.
Okay.
So const $li equals, so we know we're going to make a list item.
Wait a minute. Yeah. You're reusing that $li?
Right. Okay. So what is the scope? What is the scope of $li?
The button. But why would we call it the same thing?
Because it is the same thing. I want to make a list item, so I'm calling it list item.
Okay.
Seems
So
like a
we're
sensible
gonna
thing.
we have two constants, but we have no name collision with them being the same because they're not in the same functions.
Correct. So this const li exists between this curly bracket and this curly bracket.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, in this case, I've said in my little comment to myself, I want to return it. So that much is easy. Nothing else is easy yet, but that much is easy. Okay, so we definitely want to give it a class. So I guess we can do that. So const item type becomes equal to type of item. Okay, again, there's going to be a lot of similarities here.
Yeah.
I'm going to switch it. Ooh, that's nice of it.
The switch just auto-filled in everything he needs to do. I use that all the time.
And it even puts the brakes in on the default case. It's
Mhm.
very friendly of it.
Yeah.
So first case.
I don't know what we're doing.
We're almost repeating exactly everything we've done before, to be perfectly
So
honest.
why don't we copy and paste it out here and call it later?
Let's do that.
Okay. He's copying all of our cases.
And our default.
But anytime you copy and paste, that means you got to get rid of them elsewhere, right?
And the one below will be vanishing
when
this code works.
Okay.
Oh, this code works. The one below is all we got.
Yeah.
I could delete it now, but that would be very brave.
So now Bart this is why I don't understand why we have to do this so much. What he's doing is he's going up and down, getting rid of empty spaces. Why it put all those spaces in?
Okay, this editor is not my usual editor, so it's not behaving the way I'd like because obviously not configured the way it should be. Okay, so return the li.
Boolean number list.
So far, that's all quite sensible, actually.
Because it's exactly what we already wrote before.
Yeah, so let's read. Okay, so let's actually get rid of this code then.
Yeah.
So our li becomes equal to. Goodbye. Scary, but okay. Becomes equal to calling our function. What did I name my function? Render item.
Render item. Okay. Item.
And the item to be rendered is the
output in that case. Okay. Easy for you to type.
Apparently not.
Okay.
You're not needed anymore.
Wait, what did you get rid of?
Get rid of our output type variable that we're not using.
We did that. Yeah.
And in fact.
Now hang on. How come we're allowed to use render item? We're allowed to use that.
Well, render item is the name of the function, so we're not just allowed to if we don't. So we have created a function render item. Now
then it's going to drive it. Okay, got you.
Now, in fact, we can save ourselves some more typing here because that li is now a pointless variable, so we can just do that.
I don't know what you just. Wow.
I just saved us a line of code, right? So we're just saying stick into the list, stick into our UL.
Render item output.
Render item output.
Which is the li that we create up above. Okay.
Yeah. Just saving ourselves a bit of typing. So in theory, unless we've done something wrong, our code should work just like it did before.
Copy paste first. Oh.
Okay, so first off, no errors in the console. No errors in the console is good. So let's try with the string boo. No. Didn't work. Oh, 2 errors.
I don't see any errors.
Why is... Oh, there they are.
There they are. Oh,
can't find variable output type. Yeah, because I didn't call it output type inside the function, did I? I called it item type.
Yeah.
Switch item type. So your item type. You're not. Okay, so that's a simple typo.
That's interesting because you change things.
Oh, okay. Well, we're still not doing very well.
We got a bullet, so our list is there.
Yeah. So why is output not working? Because you should be item.
See what? That's why you changed all that, and it seemed like it was working fine.
Okay, but I'm passing it in, so I'm saying that I will call you.
So it better be called something else. Okay.
Type of item.
How about the case function needs to be item.toString2, doesn't it? Down 2 lines, 3 lines.
Yeah.
And is array.
Doing anything there yet, but
I'm a big help for you. There you go. You just stick with me, Bart. I'll help you.
In theory. Oh, we're still missing something.
We didn't put anything in there. How could it do anything but a bullet?
Oh, duh. Thank you. Okay, so that tells me. Okay, so that tells me something else important inside of our text.
Where?
Okay, sorry. I'm just thinking. Let me just give me 10 seconds of thinking time here before I speak. Okay, I know what I want to do.
That was a fast 10 seconds.
So
What's the problem you're solving?
I want to do something sensible when the empty string is put in there.
Oh, okay.
So to print become equal to.
I don't think you can have an equal before to print.
Yeah, that's just a typo.
Okay,
there you go.
To print become equal to item.
So we're going to say print to print.
Wait, what do you? Okay. Oh my God! Why are you changing the name of the variable so many times?
Okay, because if it's a string, I want to do something clever. Okay, this will become self-explanatory in about 30 seconds. Because remember, the problem to be solved is what to do with an empty string. So if item is an empty string, I don't want to print item. I want to print is equal to string.
Say what you just did.
Okay, so I am saying that to print is by default made equal to the item itself. So in the normal case, to print is going to be whatever you typed in. But if the item is the empty string, I want to make to print become the string empty space string. And then we print that out.
So did you just add another?
So there's an if statement inside the string.
So typing nothing is an empty string?
Correct.
It's not an empty boolean. It's not a...
Okay. So, no, you're right. So we're almost where we want to be. So now if I do a shift refresh, it's still not going to behave properly because we have another case to deal with, right? Still not behaving properly. Yes?
Yes, but did you answer my question?
Right. Okay, so I haven't. I'm getting there. So what is the type of nothingness?
False.
It's undefined.
But undefined is false. So I'm technically right.
But type of something which is undefined is undefined. So we actually have another case here.
Okay, case.
Defined, because the type of function could have actually returned undefined.
Okay, so under case undefined, he's writing. You're going to do that.
Yeah, what do I want to do when it's undefined?
If item triple equals undefined?
I probably want to do... Actually, do you know something? If it's equal to undefined, I want to do exactly the same as what I'm doing for booleans and strings. It's just... I need to do something else. Let me think this through logically.
Talk first before you print.
Okay. If it's undefined, I want to change to print.
Why?
So that it says the word undefined instead of complete nothingness.
Okay.
Although actually undefined will just print out fine, won't it?
I don't know.
Undefined does print out fine.
But we're still haven't fixed our other... I'm lost.
I know we haven't fixed our other thing. We have multiple problems to fix.
But we're jumping around. So if item triple equals...
Okay. I think I fixed it. So let's just say output equals empty string, right? Almost right. Right. So that should catch the code I just wrote. Yes?
I don't know. I was trying to read it and you switched, so I don't know. So we have if item triple equals quote quote to print should say empty string.
Mm-hmm.
And to print is the item and the item is empty. So how is that? You went down this whole undefined path and now I'm lost. So what's an empty string?
Undefined is a separate problem to solve. I just realized we're not doing that either. So
but we haven't fixed the first thing yet.
Yeah, so I think I think we're now fixing the empty string. Okay, so we have managed to do that much.
Okay, but if you put nothing in the window, what I asked you was if...
Yes.
Go back. If you put nothing in the window, if you type nothing there, is that an empty string or is that undefined?
It's that.
I don't know what that is.
It's an empty object. So actually, you've hit on something very good here. So we actually need to be cleverer.
You're going down a third path, Bart. Please go back to.
No, I'm not.
Please go back to the Safari window again.
Okay.
Erase everything in it.
Okay.
What is in that box? Is that an empty string or is that undefined? What is that?
The value of that box is completely empty. So when you eval it, it is 0 lines of code and it will do completely and utterly nothing.
So it's not undefined?
It's not undefined. It does nothing.
String.
And it's not an empty string. It just does nothing. So then the value of the output variable will be whatever the value was before we hit the button. And that's not good because that could be something different every time.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
So actually, we need to be a bit more clever in our event handler here. We need to, first off, empty output, then run the code, then render the output. So we need to make sure that every time
before that, it would have whatever was in it before?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's bad. That would have made very weird bugs.
Okay. Output becomes equal to undefined.
Yeah.
Can you? So I know it's just a comment, but can you fix the typo in empty output?
Like so.
Okay. Okay.
Right,
so now when it's empty, it is undefined.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Because yes. So now go back up here.
Now, what would our code do with undefined? It'll type empty string right now, won't it?
No, because undefined is not triple equal the empty string. So I think what it'll do is just write the word undefined without any styling.
Oh, okay.
I think. So let's test my theory. Oh.
Nope.
It's written blankness. Well, blankness is okay. Well, that's good because that's easier to fix.
Wait, but does that mean it's broken or we don't understand what it does?
No, it means that if you give the value undefined to text. Oh, yeah, no, that does make sense. If you give the value undefined to text, it will
do nothing.
It will print out nothing. Yeah. So we want to say that toPrint becomes equal to undefined.
Okay.
Now, refresh. Hey!
There we go. Okay. I feel better. Undefined really is undefined.
Okay. So now we're back to the scary part. I can't avoid it any longer.
Did we get rid of this? You went down so many paths there. We took care of the empty string part. We took care of the undefined part. Wasn't there a third one it could be?
No, I'm afraid now we're into the array.
No. I'm not trying to delay the array. I promise. I could have sworn there were 3 things it could be, though.
No, because we've gotten rid of it by saying output actively becomes undefined before we do our eval.
Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Let's go down to our scary array.
Our scary array. Right. Okay. So add class array. Yeah. Okay. There's the easy part. Now we come to the part where we have to do some recursion. So an array is a variable that contains variables. Is that a true statement?
Yeah.
So that means we want a list inside our list. So const inner UL. Looks a bit funny, but okay.
Yeah, actually, the capital somehow looked good, didn't it?
Looks better. It's wrong. No,
yeah, well,
it's wrong. It's gonna drive me nuts either way, but so be it.
So you're going lowercase. All right. So const inner UL. What are you doing?
What just happened there? That's my text editor went weird.
Okay. Oh, okay. So constant inner UL is going to be a UL. Got you. I'm getting the hang of watching these be made.
So we stick our li.append.
So we're going to append the li to the inner UL. Got you.
Now we got to loop over. Okay, actually, so
wait, are we going to do a for of?
We will be very shortly, but before we do a for of,
I have the answer to the mnemonic test.
You have the answer to the mnemonic test. Yes, you do, actually. Do you want to give the listeners that while I...
Well, I'm not sure you know the one that I'm going to say was the best of the ones we got. We did get several. Katie Murray said, For of has a V sound at the end. So that's the one that's values.
Yeah, that's the one that stuck in my brain too. Although I do like
For of.
Jill gave us one with an anti. It wasn't anti-mural. It was an anti something else.
That one didn't
maybe just disproving the value of it as a mnemonic since I can't remember.
And I think Donald Burr sent one in too, but the one that stuck with me was Katie Murray for of his values.
Yeah.
Got value right there.
So I'm going to do a little bit of housekeeping first.
What are you doing?
Inner URL that appends something. So if it's an array, we should really mark it as such. So I want to have, I'm going to wrap the array inside square brackets. So I'm just going to say stick a list element in here. So I want to make a new list element. We'll explain in a moment.
Okay. You're breaking the rule of understanding as you type, though.
Yeah, but I got to get it typed and then I can say it.
Okay. Oh, I see what he's doing. Okay, so he's actually adding the two square brackets. You did some square brackets earlier that I thought we were going to use for that. But this makes more sense.
I've decided they should go into a list. Yeah, in fact, I'm going to even be a bit more.
So he's got inner UL dot append, and he's going to do a list item with the text array colon with a square bracket, and then he's going to have the close square bracket, and in between is going to be the glop that it actually spits out.
Yeah. So now is where our for loop has to go.
Okay.
For. That one is easy.
For of?
Const. Item of.
Inner item of. Wait. Inner item. What was inner item?
Well, inner item is what we're making up. So item is what we're getting the inner of.
Okay. So we've got a constant called the inner item of item. God, you do love naming everything the same, don't you? All right.
Well, how could that be any more? Like item is the array. So inner item is the things inside it.
Okay.
That's what I call them.
That's what you always say.
This is a recursive data structure, so its naming is going to be recursive.
Okay.
So if we have an item inside of our item, what do we want to do? Well, we want to actually do exactly what we've just done, and our function is called render item. What we want to do is say $inner ul dot append, call ourselves. This is why it's recursive. We're calling ourselves within ourselves on the inner
item.
Yeah.
Okay, what the heck does that line say? So we've got a constant. Beware.
I do this every time I do recursion.
Just in case it goes horribly wrong and your fans start going off, or what?
Yep. It is a note to myself to always be really careful with this line of code because it is recursive.
Okay, so hang on. I don't see the recursion yet.
So we are inside a function named render item.
Oh, and we're calling render item. We're still inside there.
Yeah, we're calling render item. That is by definition what recursion is.
Yeah. So inside render item, we've got the case where it's an object. The object is an array. And for each inner item inside of this item that we're evaluating, this array, we're going to take the inner UL and append to it, and then use render item to look at inner item.
Yep.
Oh, what could possibly go wrong?
So in theory, we've done all the work. So let's now see how well we've done all the work.
Okay.
Output becomes equal to the array 42, true, boogers. That's one of each.
That's French boogers.
Boogers.
He had an E at the end there. All right, generate representation.
I'm going to stick you into yoink. Yeah. Oh, I'm going to fail to stick you into yoink.
You have no faith that that's going to work, do you?
Did I do a shift refresh? Unexpected syntax. Right. Well, there we go. Can't possibly be good.
Expected closing.
76 is not.
Did it tell us what line we're on?
76. It wasn't happy.
Okay.
So what's not balanced?
See that your constant, your for of does.
This. No.
How about your is array line 66? Is that kind of close?
$is array open, close.
Wait, go across that one for me.
Ooh,
No,
Ooh,
there should be another one.
there should be another one. If
I would put it before the
that
block.
if
Yeah,
statement,
right there.
that
That's
if
right.
statement never ends. Yeah, never
Yeah.
ending if statements. There we go.
I found it.
Thank
Look at
you.
me go, girl.
Right. So drag and drop.
Can't
Okay.
find variable
Oh,
inner email.
yeah. Okay. So after arguing about the capitalization, I went and did it wrong.
Oh yeah, you did. So you had a capital, a lowercase, and then a capital. You didn't know. You just couldn't decide, so you did it both ways. That's perfectly
Right.
reasonable.
Yeah. I did say I'd just get it wrong either way, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Oh.
Look at that. It says array, colon, square bracket, 42 true burgers. Woo!
Now,
I think we should call victory, Bart.
we should call victory, but I want to do one more thing before I call victory.
You got to get rid of that bullet, don't you?
Yeah, I do.
I told you to get rid of that bullet at the beginning, and you said, no, I don't want to do any styling. And then he's got...
No, I'm not going to do styling. I'm just going to do it slightly differently. So if we are an array, then we start by appending to our list item.
What?
Text.
What do you mean?
Then I don't want the array here to be a list item. I just want it to be text.
Why?
Because it shouldn't, like we have bullet point.
Yeah.
I want you tabbed out, and I want the other one tabbed out.
Oh, good Lord. Really? He's
Really?
doing his indenting.
Second.
Okay.
You append the string. We get rid of you.
So you get rid of that whole line?
Yeah. And then you're
gonna
outside the for loop. So you're basically, I'm just going to copy and paste you.
Okay. He's going to get rid of the UL append. I'd never liked that in the first place.
There we go.
It's exactly what I would have done, Bart.
So shift refresh, drag and drop, see how many typos we've made. Oh.
So it says array colon, open close square bracket, then says 42.
Okay, right. It can't be so. Okay, got to be a little clever. Let me see. I'll make them paragraphs.
So how
am I going to do this? Yeah, so I need a paragraph. Set the p tag.
Okay.
Then the paragraph gets the text.
Okay. All right. So you've got li append, p tag, text array.
Assuming I have managed to balance my brackets.
How is that going to fix it?
Now we have a paragraph, then a list item, then a paragraph. So that should render correctly.
All right.
He said.
I don't buy it.
Ah!
Well, it does say array colon square bracket. Now there's an empty space in it. I didn't think that would make it live in the middle.
Oh, sod. Let's see what I've done.
What?
I'm being spectacularly and supremely silly.
I actually think that should work.
Yeah, you're right. It shouldn't, and it doesn't.
So what line did you just take out?
Okay. So the line where we say shove in the whole list item is after the line where we say close the bloody bracket.
Ah.
So if I move those into exactly the opposite order, that will work.
Then we get it
an awful lot better. Yeah.
There you go. I'll buy that. It was exactly what I thought was wrong.
Okay. Well spotted.
I see why. Yay!
Now, the power of recursion, Alison. We're going to end on a high.
What? You're not going to do anything else?
I'm going to stick an array inside our array.
Oh, and push another button? No.
It's recursive code. It can go all the way down.
Wait a minute. You need to change that word to turtles. Instead of woot, we need it all go all the way down. It's got to say turtles. Actually, if you put turtles on the earlier one, would that also help?
Yeah.
I think it ought to be turtles all the way down. I forget whose joke that is. There we go.
Turtles. And we can have more turtles and we can have more turtles. So recursive code has the magic that we get, well, recursion for free. So that last step is the scary step, but it actually took very, very little code.
Yeah, but a whole lot of logic.
A whole lot of logic. Basically, it took that.
Yeah. And I didn't scream or anything when you got to that part, the recursive part. I guess I didn't know how scary it was.
It just if we make a mistake in there, we end up with a memory gobbling infinity.
Right. Right.
Which we didn't do, so that's good.
So I think this was really, really cool. I really enjoyed this.
Good. I hoped you would.
I think we
but I
should
wasn't
switch back to our faces, though.
We should switch back to our faces. Okay.
Let's see if either of us can remember how to do that.
Well, if I get the hangout back, that's step one.
All right.
And then if I click that green button.
There's me. Oh.
Am I back?
Yes, you are.
Yes, I am. Okay.
It's gotten a lot darker at my house since we started.
Well, it was pitch dark when I started, so it's still pitch dark.
Well, I think that was really, really fun. And I'm actually going to leave the audience with a riddle as our palate cleanser for this. And I don't want you to try to solve it because I will talk to you about it after we're done. But in keeping with our farm animals, I'm going to tell you a riddle. Are you ready?
Okay.
There are 40 cows in a field, 28 chickens. How many didn't?
See,
okay, you and I will talk afterwards.
Yeah.
Not
only will we talk afterwards, you've pulled this one on me last week, so I actually know the answer and have forgotten it, which is even more annoying.
Well, good. We will leave people with that. But this was really fun. I think this is a great way to celebrate 50 episodes here. I don't. It'd be interesting to hear from people whether the audio worked, but the video was certainly fun. I really enjoyed this. This was as much fun as you had hoped.
Phew! I love your T-shirt, by the way.
Oh. I happen to be wearing a Daily Tech News Show shirt.
That's dead cool. Also, actually, the people in Heil were extremely clever because the Heil logo is just right there on the side of your boom.
There you go. Yeah, they're pretty smart about that. It's on the mic and on the boom. Oh, actually, if you look closely, there's also a pod feet pin. Yep.
Which is dead nice. I presume that's there for when you go in your podcast with on DTNS and stuff.
Yeah. Just usually I have a pod feet mug as well. But this has been great, Bart. Congratulations on dragging me kicking and screaming for 50 episodes, and I'm not going to give up as long as you don't give up on me.
Well, I have so many plans for this series. There's so much to teach you. So much.
Yay. All right, Bart, close this out.
Okay. Well, until next time, happy computing.
Okay, that closes out the live video. I am going to hang up and let's go talk on something. Discord?
Discord, sure.
Okay. Bye, everybody.
Bye.